Welcome everyone to another Sunday Satsang. I hope you're all doing well. As the seeking process transforms in a way that the seeking and the object of the seeking is practical now. So, in other words, what I, as the seeker, am really looking for, this has been looked into. And what is it exactly that I'm trying to achieve as the goal of this seeking, that when it was achieved, the seeking would end. So in this framework, it is pointed again and again. Let's keep it practical. What is it that I am looking for? What is it that I'm seeking? And as the process becomes practical or clear in a way, because now I'm not um, blindly or ignorantly or I'm not shooting arrows in the dark anymore. Whatever now happens in the process, whatever arises within and without, can be related to from the place of this pedestal of what exactly it is that I'm seeking. Once this is clear, then everything in the journey of seeking journey can be related to in regards with that the object of seeking, if that is really what I am looking for, then how do I relate with what is arising in a way that it facilitates the object of the seeking, the end of seeking in this moment with this arising? How is whatever is arising right now, let's say a conversation with someone, and if it is really clear and there is an earnestness, a choicelessness about what I'm really looking for, then that conversation and every conversation from then on is related to as serving the seeking journey. As that happens, life can be truly seen as the teacher itself. So we don't need any scriptures or books or teachers, concepts even, because life somehow is full, is loaded with insights, loaded with experiences that sometimes force us, but sometimes effortlessly just rids us of whatever is not serving. And once the object of seeking is clarified within the system, then when something arises, we're a habitual forgetting of why are we here. And if that habitual pattern happens, there's a chance of being able to catch it or see it for what it is. Do we really know why we're seeking? Do we really know what we are seeking? Or are we just following a concept that we heard or read somewhere and it sounded rosy, or it was sold as the purpose of the human birth and purpose of human life, and now because it sounds like the right thing to do, I seem to be on an apparent path to get somewhere, to achieve a goal or a purpose that we could label as enlightenment or nirvana or God or self-realization. We can give that goal these labels. And because it sounds so magical or grand, it's like, oh, this quest might be worth taking on. So is it just because of hearsay, or do we really know that we are seeking, why we're seeking, and what is it that we are seeking? What we're really seeking is not to be found out there. It won't be found in relationships. It won't be found in respect. It won't be found in money. It is not found in approval or love. It is not found in looking a certain way, behaving a certain way. It is not found in perfect health, physical health or mental health. It is not found in having energy or feeling demotivated. It is not found in the thoughts. It is not to be found in emotions. It is not to be found in the feelings. Whatever can be perceived as the content of life, as the content of experience, as me, as the other. And that other could be another person, another sentient being, another object, another job, another narrative. It won't be found in the me and in the other. And don't take my word for it. Not that we have a choice, because if our system is ingrained with following a pathway where we are looking for $1 million, let's say. So even though I may listen to something, it would even make sense. And I would change my ways where I would try and convince myself that it's not to be found in $1 million. So $10,000 is also enough. I don't have to crave or run towards getting $1 million. And yet, if the system is designed in a way that it feels called, feels inclined to wanting to work for money and make money and have $1 million, that's life. That is God's will. That is what my genes and up-to-date conditioning in this moment are designed to work towards, to spend my time on, to spend my energy, my thinking on. I may train myself to chant and not think about money. And yet, if that's what destiny entails for me to be my biggest topic of my reality, I'll find myself dreaming about it. And I'll sneak out within mantras to think about how much money someone else has or how much money can I have. And so don't take anybody's word for where it is to be found and where it is not to be found. And it is the object of seeking here. Walk your own path. There's nothing else to do but to just follow our destiny, to follow what's designed in our system, to be as me as this biological robot is programmed to be like, including the resistance to surrender to the programming, including the efforts to try and change the programming. That is all part of the programming. So what we are really looking for is not to be found in programming. It sure is a better experience to be a system that's a good person according to the benchmarks of today's society or the society that I live in. But if I am designed to be with qualities that are not appreciated in today's society, then the consequences would be less pleasurable than the opposite, maybe. And for sure, it might be worth it to try and become a good person if I am destined to try, if that feels appealing in my system. And yet, we can try and try, and we may even be able to achieve whatever being a good person means, authentically, even. And yet, it is not to be found in programming. It is not to be found in the ability to be a perfect person inside and out. It is not to be found in self-improvement. In this moment, if we're not doing anything with our bodies, or not writing something or cooking, or not actively participating in an activity, if we're just sitting um, listening to these words, I want to propose an experiment. If we are able to receive these words that were just shared, everywhere that what I'm really looking for, everywhere where it's not to be found, let's just drop all of that for this moment. That doesn't mean I quit my job, although it may mean that, but not generally. In this moment, that's not what it means. Let's just drop the quest for a better life, for a more loving relationship, for more respect, for more compassion within myself, for more good qualities that I believe need to happen for me. Let's just drop everything that we believe to be right or to be wrong, that we believe ourselves to be, or that we believe what we want to become. Just for this moment. And we can allow all of that stuff to just be here. It doesn't have to be forgotten or rejected. It can just be here if it is. But dropping it really means that for just this moment, let's be curious if all of that is as true or real as it is taken to be in our daily lives. So just for this moment, let's just be open to be wrong about our deep-rooted rights and wrongs and beliefs. Let's just drop any thoughts that are arising. Let them arise. They can keep appearing, playing out, auditioning for our attention and involvement. That can still happen, that can keep happening. That doesn't have to stop for them, for the thoughts to be dropped. Any feelings or emotions may arise. Boredom may arise. Frustration may arise. Even peace may arise. A relaxation, a sigh of relief may arise. Anything that we believe to be good or not good, anything in that whole spectrum can arise. And yet, our habitual tendency to label it and to identify with it as if it's considered good, then it should be here longer. And if it is considered not good, then, oh, why did it arise? It has to be manipulated or fixed or forgotten or let go of. So that involvement, identification with what is arising in this moment, within and without, what we call me, what I call me, can be dropped. And let's just look at this me. What is this me? What is Gurleen that seems to be so sure of who she is, who she wants to be, what her life looks like, what happened to her in the past experiences, who treated her well, who didn't treat her well, who she treated well and didn't treat well, and all the consequent memories and trauma or emotions that have remained in the system from that. Who is she? Really? What is the material or fabric, or where does she exist within all of this? I can look at this body and say, oh, this is Gurleen. Look in the mirror. Well, right now, looking on the screen, a face is showing with certain features and hair and but is that Gurleen? Because this body will be dropped by something and nobody will call this body Gurleen anymore. It'll just be a dead body. So something is living through this body, which has been labeled as Gurleen, which is looking out from these eyes right now, speaking out from this throat, the vocal cords right now, apparently. And there's something actually which is not a thing, but again, don't take my word for it. But this that is living through this body, that is alive and seems to have made this functional unit functional and alive. All the senses have been activated in this body mind organism till the time this is plugged in. And this has innocently taken on the so-called thought construct, the identity of Gurleen, or whatever name that it may identify with. It has taken on very innocently, effortlessly, without any pleasure or pain associated with that identification. It is just innocently morphed into the form of a personal identity who's a good person or not a good person, who's mature or not mature, or who likes sweet food and not spicy food. All of those characteristics or the programming, which is a result of the genes, the biological blueprint of the DNA through the ancestral lineage that this body is made of, and the content within the body, pains and aches and ailments, have come with the blueprint. It might be activated, it might not be activated, and it all is programmed according to what conditioning, what environment, what circumstances are designed to be experienced by this body mind organism, and how they are designed to be interpreted or to land within the body mind organism or by this identity. This personal identity, this me, can I really look for myself? Can I find myself? This double bind, this mind fuck arises just because of the duality of language. How do eyes look at themselves? How does a knife cut itself? It can cut everything if it's sharp enough for any object to be cut through. Can it cut itself? Can water quench its own thirst? Can fire burn itself? it burns everything that it's not. But can it burn itself? I hope we're able to experientially able to say no to those questions. Because the fire is the subject. And in those questions, in that quest of trying to burn itself, it has taken on to be the object also. So, how does the subject become an object? Because to find something, it has to be an object other than the subject. That is the very double bind of duality. This whole flow of life, me and the other, cold and hot, good and bad, rich and poor, beautiful and ugly, peace and suffering. This manifestation is designed to appear as pair of opposites. And the minds, our perception is designed to perceive duality. And with the same innocence that everything else is perceived, that same dual perception has taken on the quest of finding the finder, or finding the source of all of this, or finding God, the one that created me, the one that created everything. Not realizing that the one looking is already what is being looked for. So, how do I turn my eyes towards myself and say, oh, look at me, that's me? Sometimes when it lands, it's a joke, it's a very cruel joke. And it is in the seeing of the futility of the seeking itself that the seeking may end. And because we're using language, we end up finding ourselves. Not that that can ever happen, because I am myself. I am within which this personal identity has appeared. It is so delicately and complexly designed. And I, as this, is unbiased, is there is no concept of other here. And it innocently, effortlessly, it's not even an event, it's just how a seed grows into a sapling, and a sapling grows into a tree, and the tree bears fruit, and the fruit comes with the seeds again. So from one seed, thousands of seeds emerge. There is no resistance. In identification. Identification is proposed as the problem or as the cause of suffering in many frameworks. And that is so. That is so. From the seeker's point of view, who is still identified with the flow of life and still not clear, the clarity hasn't appeared in the flow of life, in the seeking journey, to really see, what am I looking for? And why am I looking for it? Can I help and not look for it, or not feel called to think about it or take action on it? And yet, if identification could be dropped, it is clearly seen not from outward in, not as the seeker finding God, but as the perceiving itself. It is clearly perceived that there is no problem with identification. There is no suffering. There is nothing to seek. There is no one to be the seeker. This me is like a poof in the air. A block of air, for the lack of a better word. It's inhaled and an exhale happens. Where did that air go? That's how one, not two, this whole shenanigan is.